Shabbat Shalom, everyone. In 2010, a group of Dutch researchers sought to study the relationship between vacations and happiness. One might think that people are happier after they return from vacation, but the opposite is actually true. Vacationers often self-reported higher levels of happiness before they left on a trip. This is what is called anticipatory excitement. Reading about a place you plan to visit, making a dinner reservation, packing special clothes. They even found the act of placing your passport in a bag. All of these give us a small hit of dopamine that makes us feel happy. But what's interesting about their research is that a mere 7 days after returning from our trip, those who went on vacation and those who never left reported the same levels of happiness. The post-trip happiness bump is smaller than we often imagine, because for most of us, we return to the demands of work and family and other immediate obligations. So long story short, people feel happiest when we are preparing for something. As the parent of a toddler, I spend a lot of time helping Eloise prepare. We talk a lot about the daily schedule, who will pick her up from school, what she will have for dinner. We read the same books over and over again, which cover such exciting topics as sharing and teeth brushing. For a week now, I have been reminding Eloise every day of her teachers' names, and that next Monday, finally, it will be her first day of school here at TBJ. Early childhood educators explain that long-term preparation in this way helps children feel a sense of safety and steadiness in a world that they cannot control. I sometimes wish that someone would do the same for me. How much I yearn for a steady, calm voice that would tell me what comes next, what I can expect, ultimately, what am I preparing for? The closest thing that we have is this season of preparation. As Rabbi Gewirtz said, this Hebrew month of Elul is here, and it can serve as a kind of spiritual vacation packing list. The more we anticipate now, the more the actual experience will mean when we get on the proverbial plane on Rosh Hashanah. The first of these preparations is to hear the shofar. Though we associate its bellowing sound with the new year and with the end of Yom Kippur, it is a sound that is supposed to be well versed in our minds and our hearts by the time we are sitting in services. There is a custom to blow the shofar every day during this month of Elul after morning prayers. Its message now is the same as it will be in a few weeks. It's time to wake up. No more snoozing, no more sleeping late in our sacred work of being alive. I read a commentary this week that said that part of the reason we should hear the shofar so many times before Rosh Hashanah is that it's possible that the first time we hear it, we are just amazed. It's a concert of sorts. We can't believe that that sound can come out of that horn. We might watch the face of the Baal Tekiah, the shofar blower. Instead of really hearing it sound, we might wonder, how did he or she learn how to do it? Could I blow the shofar? Where did you even buy a shofar, you might wonder? And before we know it, the shofar blowing is over, and we didn't hear a sound. By hearing the shofar every day for this month, by the time we get to Rosh Hashanah, we are over the fanfare. We're over the performance. We are able to tune in to the broken notes of Shivarim. We are able to hear the crying nature of Teruah. We are able to be disturbed by Tekiah. The shofar has been transformed. It's a painful sound, the pain of change, the pain of not changing. A second form of preparation for this time is in the giving of tzedakah. We are encouraged this month to be generous, to give in every way we can, be it our time, our talent, or our treasure. The mystics thought that the doing of tzedakah would create a kind of divine protective shield over all who give, and therefore over the entire Jewish people. It's thought that the more generous we can be during Elul, the more generous God will be with us when it comes to forgiving us and writing us in the book of life. However, like the shofar, the goal is not to just do it once. Rather, we are commanded to give tzedakah repeatedly. Even if it is only one coin in the pushka, the act of giving in this way reminds us that it's not the amount we give, rather the spirit of giving that we are trying to engender within ourselves. The same can be said for other forms of giving. This is the season to be kinder, to be more compassionate, to be more loving, to be more patient, to be more forgiving, to take just a little bit more time before shooting off that critical text or email. In that way, tzedakah can be transformed from the dusty box sitting up on a shelf to a place we gravitate to more often. A third place of preparation is in our prayers. There is a custom of reciting Psalm 27 each day during this month. This poem articulates a kind of yearning we have during this season. This is one of the lines from the middle of the psalm. It says, "There is only one thing I'll ask of God, only one thing I'm seeking, and that is to live in God's house all the days of my life." It goes on to say, "Oh God, when I cry out, have mercy on me, answer me." The themes of these high holy days are clear. We're beginning to remember that it is in this time that we make ourselves vulnerable. We cry out to the God that we call Avinu Malkeinu, our parent, our ruler. We make promises that we hope we can fulfill. There's a sacred fear that is present on our holy days. We are hopeful through our prayers that we will have the ability to live our best lives, to improve, to fix what is broken, and perhaps even to return home to find that we are living in God's house. Again, the daily recitation of this psalm, like the shofar and the giving of tzedakah, transforms it to an extraordinary, ordinary presence. A final way that we can prepare this month is not something you have to do, but it's a change in mindset, a change in the way that we might think about God. Elul is thought to be the month when the king is in the field. It's thought that in the Bible, the king would leave his palace during this month of Elul and set up a temporary camp in the field where everyone was welcome to approach him. You see, most of the year, the king lived in a palace that was protected by guards and iron gates. To have an audience with the king face to face, you had to be summoned. And should you approach the king without being summoned, you might die. Just think about Queen Esther fasting and praying and wringing her hands before she went to go see Achashverosh. And even after you were summoned, there was palace protocol to learn. You had to dress correctly, speak correctly, have proper mannerisms. Your presentation had to be flawless. And once you got to the capital, you were ushered to the palace through many intimidating gates and corridors and chambers that would finally lead to the throne. But once a year, during this month, all of that was gone. The king would come into the field, setting up a royal tent, and all who wanted to see him were welcome to. There was no dress code, no protocol, no intimidation. The king would receive them all with a smiling face, open to all of their concerns and needs. This is the time of year when we imagine that everything we want, everything we need, every opportunity, the solution to every challenge, it's not in some faraway place that we need an invitation to go visit. It is right here. The king is in the field, in the pickup line, on the sports field, in the boardroom, and the queen is in our homes, around the dinner tables and the doctor's offices, and yes, even here in our own sanctuary. It's true that Rosh Hashanah isn't for a couple more weeks. Yes, it's soon. But like those researchers proved, the anticipation is oftentimes the best part. So perhaps it's time to pull out those recipe books, to order the honey. The deadline is Sunday if you want to buy from the Women's Association. You might place your order at one of the bakeries for your round challah. Find out who's coming for which meals. Let's do everything we can to make the holiday feel like a holy day. But let's not move so quickly that we forget that we are about to go on an amazing trip. Not exactly a vacation where we can sit on the beach with a little umbrella in our drink. We are anticipating the once-in-a-lifetime journey of another year of life. It is, of course, in a world that feels terribly off-kilter and painful at times, and I can't promise you anything about the legroom. But it's a journey that we want to take, for it also promises adventure, joy, challenge, meaning, purpose, possibility. Or as the writer Edward Streeter said, life, like travel, is 90% anticipation, 10% recollection. So grab your passports, because the plane, or if you prefer boat, or if you prefer car, is taking off soon. Buckle up. 5786. Here we come. I haven't done this in a while, so here we go. Tekiah. Shabbat Shalom.